how quickly these so-called expert opinions change after a loss. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Just last week, my friends, here in the last couple weeks, here leading up to these games that the Pittsburgh Steelers played against Philadelphia, Baltimore, leading up into this Chiefs game, everybody talked about how this Pittsburgh Steelers team had so much potential to be Super Bowl contenders, that they were for real, and all of a sudden, after a couple tough weeks, they backpedal. All of a sudden, the Steelers aren't good enough. All of a sudden, the Pittsburgh Steelers may never win another game this season in 2024. All of a sudden, the players that they talked about being elite are no longer elite. How does this change so quickly? How does this flip-flop happen so quickly? Is it for clicks? Is it for views? Possibly. Or can your opinion be swayed that easily? I'm not sure. If you have some sort of expert opinion out there, I don't know how it changes so drastically, so quickly, and how you just ride with the wave. You never really truly analyze the team in the proper sense. You just go off what's right in front of you. You don't look at the big picture. You're not really taking it all in. Well, I'm here to tell you here on Mike Drop Sports, I'm not going to flip-flop. I'm not going to start freaking out and start panicking. I'm not going to start doing those things because those things get you in trouble sometimes, and those lessons have been learned over the years to not panic, to not flip out when you're watching this league. Again, typically things fall into the NFL's lap how they want them. They wanted this race in the AFC North to come down to the last week. They got their wish. We talked about it yesterday that the Steelers were probably going to lose this game. The odds were stacked against them. They're riddled with injury. And I get comments, oh, now all of a sudden you're going to use the excuse of injuries. What are you talking about? If you watch us here at the channel, you hear me say constantly, you hear it constantly, that depth is the key. That when injuries happen, teams fall apart. And when injuries happen, you start to see the product diminish a little bit. But the minute that team can hopefully get slightly healthy or in a better position health-wise, they start to come back to that form that you were talking about 2 weeks ago, how they were absolute contenders, that they can beat anybody in the NFL, and I still stand behind that. When the Pittsburgh Steelers are at kind of full strength or near full strength, they are a very tough out for any football team. And if I'm any football team in this league, and perhaps the Steelers don't win another regular season game and they have to go on the road in the playoffs everywhere, if I'm that team that's hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm not feeling ultra confident. I'm not feeling like it's going to be a game in which we just dog walk that opponent in the first round. I'm not feeling that way. And neither should you. You out there as fans. Yes, the Baltimore fans went crazy last night. Congratulations to them. They finally won a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is what it is. These are razor-thin margins that I talk about, guys. All these people out here in this podcast realm want to overcomplicate the situation. They want to act like there's way more involved than there really truly is. And there isn't really any more than just a few basic things. Don't turn a ball over, control the time of possession, and play solid defense. That's all you kind of need to do. Basically, that's all you need to do. That's the formula, and don't lose the game through special teams. That's how you got to approach this thing, man. It's simple, it's easy, it's basic, and where does it all start? The trenches. Where does it all finish? The trenches. If you don't control that, you don't win. It's the way it goes, guys. It's not overcomplicated. Yeah, we can get into the complexity of the X's and O's and the schemes and this and that. But in reality, you have to do a few simple things. And if you can do those things, you win. You can go far in this league. You can go far in any league in football. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, why hit the panic button now? And if you're a podcaster or somebody out here that analyzes football and you talk about football daily, why all of a sudden do you flip-flop after a couple rough weeks? Why all of a sudden do your opinions change? Why do people even view that? Why all of a sudden do people just panic the minute that waters become muddy? That's a loser's mentality. Winners do what, guys? Winners do exactly what Cam Hayward talked about last night in his post-game press conference. You get back to work. You figure it out. You get it done. That's how you become a winner. And that's the energy in that locker room. And everybody wants them to go out there and add somebody else, get another receiver, do all this, disrupt the chemistry perhaps in that locker room by maybe bringing in somebody that isn't so great for a locker room, that may be a little bit of a cancer inside of a locker room. Somebody that may not have that winner's attitude that the Pittsburgh Steelers possess inside of that building. And history has taught you the Pittsburgh Steelers can get there, my friends. Yeah, it may not be the same cast of characters, but that ability remains in that building. That building breeds winning, period. And I stand behind that. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers ever picking in the top part of the draft? No, they're not. Even in the toughest of times during this franchise's history here in this recent past that we have, here in the last 20 years or so, have they picked in the top part of the NFL draft by not their choice, by losing? No. This Pittsburgh Steelers franchise knows how to get it done. And do you think for 1 second that they're going to be panicking inside of that building? No, absolutely not. Do you think Russell Wilson, after making two monster mistakes yesterday, two monster mistakes that probably cost them the game, do you think that he's going to panic all of a sudden? No. Do you think that 2 weeks, in 2 weeks time frame, all of a sudden, your quarterback can't play, TJ Watt sucks, the whole defense sucks? Everybody wants to talk about Minkah Fitzpatrick being washed. I get it. I get what you're seeing right now isn't what you want to see. I understand that. But you cannot flip-flop when you've seen this team intimately. You've seen what they've built. You see the character that they portray day in, day out. You see what they are building there. And it's exciting. And things are going to be just fine. Who cares? Who cares about these last two games, honestly? They got a chip in a chair inside of the playoffs, and that's all that matters. And I am highly confident, and I think you should be also, that this team can compete against anybody. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you had this little bit of a period here where you've absolutely been decimated by injury yet again, maybe all of a sudden when the playoffs hit, you become rather healthy. Maybe all of a sudden when the playoffs hit, you're one of the most healthy teams that are out there. And boy, does that change the fortunes. Boy, does that all of a sudden change the playing field, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I'm just asking. Am I crazy for this? I don't think so. I do not think so. I just got to caution you guys that the Pittsburgh Steelers are not done. And that the Pittsburgh Steelers have what it takes. They have the players in place. Yes, the depth is being tested in a big way. Big way. But this Pittsburgh Steelers team is not dead. They are not done. They are not dead in the water. They still control their own destiny. They are still in the driver's seat of what happens for them. They are still in control of this AFC North division despite a loss to the Baltimore Ravens yesterday. They went into Baltimore into a hostile environment, shortchanged by 1 billion injuries to key players. And they still had chances to win. Same story in Philadelphia, still had chances to win. But hey, you see all these turnovers that could have been, should have been. The ball didn't bounce their way. But guys, things will start to bounce your way. The ball finds good players. We talk about that all the time too. And if you're getting over the top and you want to freak out, I just think you're going off the deep end a little bit too early. I feel like you're not looking at this from the big perspective. I feel like you're allowing emotion to pour in and really not looking at this thing in a logical sense. Really not dissecting this football team and giving them their fair and proper due. I just think that. And I think that you guys out there, especially here in this community, I want to bring you back in. I want to put your mind at ease a little bit. And that the Pittsburgh Steelers are about to play the Chiefs here on a quick turnaround. We'll see what happens there. But then they have one game in like 20 days. Then comes the playoffs. They have a little bit more of a break before that first playoff game. And now all of a sudden the Pittsburgh Steelers become healthy. Now all of a sudden they're not a team that's reeling from injury. All of a sudden they're a team that could be quite dangerous and quite possibly a very difficult out for any team in the AFC. And that includes the Chiefs. That includes the Bills. I'm just saying, continue to watch. Continue to stay hyped for your football team, because on Christmas Day at Acrisure Stadium, they are going to want that home field advantage. They are going to want you to be there loud and proud. They are going to want this support, and you can't sit here and just beat them up in the media and drag them down. And if you're a true fan, you won't do that. You won't try to disrupt your own football team by being a negative Nancy. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Everybody stick together here, because this is a tough battle. This is a tough war full of actual little tiny battles, little victories, little losses. This is one of those things, man. And you can't get overly high. You can't get overly low. And that's one thing that Mike Tomlin does say that is absolutely correct. You can't get too high. You can't get too low. You can't get freaked out. You just got to stay the course, man. You just got to stay the course. And this football team definitely shows me that they can get it done. And let's just say this, yesterday in Baltimore, all of a sudden, guys, Russell Wilson doesn't fumble the ball there on the 2-yard line, wherever it was right there. All of a sudden, they do score 7 points there. They get up 14-7. All of a sudden, that puts the back against the wall of the Ravens. All of a sudden, that game's way different. After that Minkah Fitzpatrick interception, they do go down and maybe drive and get a field goal or a touchdown. That game's vastly different. They had their opportunities. And that's what everybody is discounting, my friends. You're all discounting everybody out there. I did it too after the game. I did it too. We're all discounting the opportunities that were there. We're all discounting that the Steelers didn't get dominated by the Baltimore Ravens yesterday. We're all discounting the realness of momentum. And once you let that slip through your fingers, sometimes it's very hard to recapture. We're all discounting a lot of the big picture. And you can't continue to do that every time there are these small little losses in terms of the big picture. You can't overreact, because what the real end goal is a much bigger and broader picture with much bigger aspirations and goals. There's much more there. And you can't look at these small things and get overly low about them. And I'm going to stand behind it, and when the dust settles and the smoke clears, we'll see where they are. We'll see how this all transpires. But again, when I watch a football team that, sometimes beats themselves more than somebody else beats them, I got high hopes that one day here in the near future, once they are able to get healthy and get back on track, that all of a sudden, maybe they don't beat themselves. Maybe all of a sudden, the injuries don't play as key a role in a game as, they have here in the last few weeks. Maybe all of a sudden, other teams are beat up a little bit, and the fortunes change, and the tides turn, and the luck falls to the Steelers' side, and the ball bounces in their direction when the other teams put it on the carpet. And those turnovers come to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because we've seen this season what? When the Steelers turn the ball over and then those balls do bounce their way, they win ball games. They're tough out. They're tough to beat. But the second those lucky balls don't bounce their way in a game of razor-thin margin, we want to freak out and lose our minds. Well, I'm here to pull you back in again and relax you, because the Pittsburgh Steelers are still contenders. They are still for real. They are definitely feeling the steel, my friends, and they got what it takes to get the job done. And do not panic. Do not abort mission. Do not flip out. Do not quit support. Don't stop supporting this team right now. You fair weather fans that are out there that literally only ride with the Steelers when they're good, don't do that. Stay the course. Stay on this magical ride, because it's going to be magical, and at the end, you're going to be like, wow. That was fun. That was awesome. Even with the lows, even with the highs of the highs, you're just going to be like, oh my Lord, that was fun. That was a hell of a ride for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. All right, guys, I'm Jason. Join us tonight for Steel City Live. Yeah, we're going to come at you with Steel City Live tonight. We're going to continue to roll through the holiday each and every day with our daily live show and our daily uploads. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the show, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, man. We truly appreciate it. And again, by hitting that like button, that helps the show more than anything. Hit the shit out of that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily great conversation where your voices are heard. We answer you, we talk with you, we allow you to sound off, we allow you to get your voice heard each and every single day here at Mic Drop Sports. And don't forget, again, our live show, Steel City Live, here on Mic Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason, as always. Until next time, peace, my friends. See you on the next one.